Good morning. It's just before 10 a.m. on the east coast of Florida. We have a lot of breaking news to get to. This is part 2. Please go back and look at part 1 if you haven't seen it. Like, repost, do the 5 comments, do the whole thing. All right, so where we left off, we're talking about how Trump had the memo from the Office of Management Budget, and they were immediately, effectively stopping all the funding, all the money to all of these programs. And I was naming them. And it affects everyone. Every single person, unless you are a rich white male, it affects you, guaranteed. And it affects your loved ones, your neighbors, and weirdly, disproportionately, it affects the red states the most and the very people who voted for Trump and MAGA. Anyway, the good news part is that there are lawsuits now stopping that directive, and a federal court judge had immediately responded and put a ban and a pause on that. And along with these state attorney generals that are state attorneys general, a coalition of Democrats there, they have the New Jersey Attorney General himself, Matthew Platkin, and they are filing all of these legal actions. Now, we also found out yesterday that an email went out to the federal workforce Tuesday evening with a subject line that ties to Elon Musk. Oh, go figure. And this was saying that they were offering federal workers the chance to take a, quote, deferred resignation. And that would mean they would agree now to resign, but get paid through September. This is straight out of Elon Musk's playbook, 101 times, however many times he's done it. He does it with all of the companies, particularly with Twitter. He did this, and they will try to outright get rid of the people if they can. There's a lot of people you can't just easily get rid of because of the types of jobs, especially if they're federal. There are some protections there. And so he did the same thing. He tried to offer, a severance pay that they would get several months of pay if they would resign now. And he paid like 1 month of it. And you know that Trump is going to do that very same thing. He doesn't pay anybody. So this is more than likely a bait and switch, and they're basically trying to get rid of everybody, whether it's in the justice system, whether it is, in the federal workers. They're trying to get everyone out. They're trying to reduce all of it. They have said this from the start. Trump said it, Elon Musk said it, Project 2025 said it. Again, the Dictator's Handbook 101 said it, reducing all of the other branches of government and the government itself to a very small pool that centers around one person. And we know who that one person is. And typically it's the, quote, dictator, or the CEO, as many like to call them. In fact, there was one person speaking out on this and saying, America is just going to have to get over being upset about the word dictator, because it's time for things to change. After 200 years, the governing system of America is broken, and it needs to be on the model of a business with a CEO, which is basically a dictator, were his words. Anywho, so that, along with all of the attempting to stop any monies coming from the federal government at all, gosh, we had that economy finally, after COVID and Trump, with Biden, finally built it back up. Yes, he had to struggle with inflation because of COVID. People don't want to talk about that. No. Anyway, and he gets it to where he has put in so many amazing laws, programs, the CHIPS Act, the infrastructure, getting manufacturing back here, protections against, things where you are going to be taken advantage of. And remember what Kamala Harris was going to do to help first-time home buyers, people with families, and the costs of drugs. Well, Trump is rolling back Biden's putting in of the executive actions to help people lower the cost of drugs, particularly for Medicare and Medicaid. Now all that's just going poop. And when Biden was there, even though apparently people either were willfully ignorant, watching the wrong news, or just didn't want to accept the fact, the stock market was doing great. Every economist on the planet was like, yep, things are actually looking really good. All-time low for unemployment. And the inflation had finally gotten actually back down to where it was before the really terrible high. Stocks were doing great. It was looking rosy. Oh, now you're going to have a whole lot of unemployed people. You are going to have a whole lot of people not getting paid because of the stoppage of these things or the attempt to stop the payments. And then you're also going to have a problem not having the workforce because of the deportations, skyrocketing inflation, and none of those things add up to a good thing for anybody except, come on, you know, it's only good for the rich white male. And again, not only did we try to tell everybody this, but Elon Musk said it before the election. He told everyone, he said, yeah, Americans are going to have to, hurt for a while, So basically, as they do whatever they want to do, Americans are going to have to suffer for a while. Was that on Fox News ever, do you think? Anyway, so imagine that you are the rich person who owns whatever it is, Target, Walmart, maybe a car dealership. Gosh, who are your customers? Oh, maybe it's some of those people that got deported, huh? Okay. Oh, wait, maybe they were the breadwinners. So how's that working? If they're leaving behind any families, are they going to be able to spend money or have money? Do they have to go on assistance programs? Oh, wait, there might not be any assistance programs. So again, how are they going to spend their monies or be able to pay rent or be able to afford anything? And what about all those federal workers that are getting the boot? Yeah, you're not going to have people spending their money, and then people are pretty jittery at that all-time worst ever crash on the stock market because of the whole thing with the AI. Yeah, people are not going to be spending their money, even if they could. And then, those eggs, people are, of course, trying to say, well, it's only been a week. Oh, well, yeah, but if it was Biden, you didn't care. You were putting notes, on everything saying F Biden. And the point is, Trump is already telling you, it doesn't matter if it's a week or a year. He doesn't care about that. And honestly, they don't care about the destruction of anything here, except, again, unless you're a rich white male. And then you can buy your way out of your problems. And I guess if you're Musk, you're just going to get that rocket ship and take everybody to Mars. I don't know. And here in the great state of Florida, where all the Republicans are fighting with DeSantis, the governor, and they don't seem to be on the same page with him, the headlines here are that for the first time, Florida's 8th grade reading and math scores have fallen to the lowest marks in 20 years. Yikes. But I'm going to end on a positive note here. Some of you may have seen his TikTok, and that is Robert Reich with The Guardian, and he did an actual video of it, but he also wrote a piece for them about how to fight back. Trump's neo-fascism is here now. Here are the 10 things you can do to resist. So number 1 is protect the decent and hardworking members of your communities who are undocumented or whose parents are undocumented. He said to check in with your mayor or city managers to see what their offices are doing to protect vulnerable families in your communities. Join others in voluntary efforts to keep ICE away from schools, hospitals, and shelters, although be careful for sure. Organize and mobilize your community to support it as a sanctuary city and support your state as a sanctuary state. He says your voice and organizing can be very helpful in fighting back. And in the same way, protect LGBTQ members of your community and work with others in being vigilant against prejudice and bigotry wherever it may break out. When you see it or hear it, call it out and join with others to stop it. Even so much as alerting your local police if you trust them. Number 3, help protect officials in your community or state whom Trump and his administration are targeting for vengeance. Number 4, participate or organize boycotts of companies that are enabling the Trump regime. Number 5, to the extent that you're able, fund the groups that are litigating against Trump. 6, spread the truth. 7, urge friends, relatives, and acquaintances to avoid Trump propaganda outlets like Fox News, Newsmax, and X. 8, push for progressive measures in your community and state. 9, encourage worker action. And 10, keep the faith, don't give up.